The future is here. Innovation begins now. You can't stop the tech revolution. Alright, so maybe we haven't quite reached utopia just yet, but it sure can be fun to imagine. As we speak, cities of the future are being constructed across the globe. Paragon worlds of perfect harmony, sustainable waste recycling, low emissions, and absolutely no cars. Yeah, I'm kinda getting ahead of myself here, but pretty much every single one of these proposals just straight up bans automobiles. I wonder what that says about where every human being seems to believe their misery stems from. But are these cities actually viable? Are any of these utopias actually going to live up to the hype? And which ones are going to be built at all? All of those questions definitely not answered in this video. So park that fat ass on the couch and grab some potato chips, because we are going to talk about some future cities. In 2021, the Prince and Chairman of the NEOM Board of Directors, Mohammed bin Salman, published his plans to bring us all to eco-futuristic heaven. It's called The Line. The design is very unique in that it rejects almost every commonly accepted urban design element, most notably the circular design. Cities designed in a circular pattern benefit from improved air quality, reduced waste pollution, and an effective transportation network. But Saudi Arabia says, hey, what if we don't do that? You end up with The Line. Situated between the mouth of the Red Sea in northeast Saudi Arabia, The Line is constructed with two parallel walls enclosing a sandwich space between them. The outer shell of this wall will be completely encased in a mirror, giving it a distinct character. Either that, or we just want to see if we can build an invisible city. The inside will house buildings, layers of public parks, pedestrian-friendly spaces, schools, houses, and workplaces. It will consist of 3 layers. One on the surface for pedestrians, one underground for infrastructure, and another further underground for transportation. Artificial intelligence will monitor the city and use predictive and data models to find ways to improve daily life for its citizens, with residents actually being paid for submitting data to The Line. The idea is that development will occur horizontally rather than vertically, such as in a high-rise building. The outer walls will actually be taller than most structures, such as the Empire State Building. The Line is designed for approximately 9 million residents and built with a footprint of 34 square kilometers. The cost of the project isn't consistently reported, but it's at least in the hundreds of billions USD. Residents will have access to all facilities by walking, and a high-speed rail with a 20-minute transit. The project was designed with a model where residents can reach the facilities they need by walking for just 5 minutes. Essentially, every resident will be able to travel from one end of the city to the other in just 20 minutes. But hypothetically, everything they will ever need will be within a 5-minute walk. One of the most notable aspects of The Line is its power generation, which will be 100% renewable. According to bin Salman, the entire development will be net zero and pollution-free. According to NEOM, the development group behind this vision, no roads, cars, or emissions. It will run on 100% renewable energy, and 95% of the land will be preserved for nature. Unlike traditional cities, people's health and well-being will be prioritized over transportation and infrastructure. Only 200 meters wide, but 170 kilometers long and 500 meters above sea level. The Line leans heavily into a concept confusingly called zero-gravity urbanism. This does not refer to building structures that literally defy gravity, Rather, structures that are in tune with nature. The perfect marriage of urbanism and naturalism. Designs with this goal in mind typically include lots of green space. Everywhere you look, oh, there's another tree. That house is carved into the side of a boulder, but it's got smart appliances and a drone delivery system. This concept is nothing new. Zero-gravity urbanism can be found in almost every proposal for every futuristic city design. People are sick of the rampant air pollution, and modern cities generally feel like hotboxes that you can't ever hope to escape. Now, according to Saudi Arabia, this city will create 380,000 jobs and add approximately $50 billion to the country's GDP. Clearly, this city is very ambitious. It's something out of science fiction. The only question is, can we remove the fiction? It's no surprise that the line has come up with a lot of detractors over the years. As previously mentioned, the footprint of the project is 34 square kilometers, with 9 million residents. This comes out to around, 4 square meters per person. That's extremely crowded. The line may be able to operate on 100% renewable energy, but the energy required to produce the infrastructure is a much different story. According to Philip Oldfield, head of the Built Environmental School at the University of New South Wales, approximately 1.8 million tons of carbon emissions will occur with the materials used to construct such a project. This is more than the annual carbon emissions of many European countries. With today's technology, unfortunately, it is not possible to achieve carbon zero for a huge structure by using concrete, steel, and glass. The goal of the line is to be carbon zero, which includes construction, and this just seems to be impossible at this time. Also, you may have caught that the line is going to use AI data collected from its citizens to improve quality of life within the line. Of course, this brings into question the privacy of those citizens. Are there any protections in place? Or do people who live inside the line completely forego their right to privacy? Next, the walls. 500-foot walls dividing the natural environment is going to displace and confuse a lot of wildlife. Birds often fly into city windows because they can't see the windows. Now imagine they can't fly around those windows because they extend kilometers in each direction. The city is essentially a 170-kilometer street with 500-meter-high walls around it. The designers may claim horizontal growth, but the walls being as tall as the Empire State Building don't exactly communicate that. But by far, the most scathing detraction has come from Associate Professor Marshall Brown at Princeton University. He points out that one piece of concept art depicts a casual picnic scene atop a 200-meter-high ledge, which he describes as dangerous. The idea of a linear city isn't even new. Spanish urban planner Arturo Soraya y Mata proposed a linear model in 1882. It was a 500-meter wide urban strip, with services placed alongside the street. We did see this kind of come to fruition with Ciudad Lineal, an urban area that was later consumed by the wider city of Madrid. In the early 20th century, Edgar Chambliss envisioned a linear community of suburban homes stretching from sea to shining sea, with 3 railways providing transport. What did he call this vision? Road Town. Soviet architect Mikhail Okigovich, presented a plan for the city of Magnitogorsk, which contained a network of 8 25-kilometer-long vectors along which visitors and permanent residents could live in individual homes, with children relegated to separate spaces. A true visionary. He was considered politically dangerous and executed in 1937. There's more, but you get the idea. The concept of a non-circular settlement has been floated around before, but there are good reasons it hasn't replaced the traditional model. It's just a bad design in principle. Okay, say there's a fire on this side of the line. and you need the nearest fire station to take it out. If the city is designed in a linear fashion, and the only fire station is located over here, with no alternative paths. Even if you ban automobiles, everyone is occupying the same space at once, and you're gonna have a real hard time getting to that fire. Circular cities work because no one is too far away from each other, and there's not one defined way traffic will flow. The line proposal states that every necessity will be within 5 minutes of each other. So, every 5 minutes, you have housing, a school, a fire station, a police department, and a hospital on top of all the public green space you're going to require. Even if you do manage to somehow fit all of that within 1 or 2 blocks, the incredibly dense space is going to feel much worse than your average city. Researchers from the Vienna Complexity Science Hub also suggest that a circular city would have much shorter commuting times than a linear city. In a typical urban sprawl, the average distance between any 2 individuals is about 3 kilometers. In a linear city, this jumps to 57 kilometers. In the line, you'd have the options of walking, cycling, or taking the super fast underground trains. 100% of the time, which option do you think residents will be choosing? If there's an issue with the trains today, entire families on either side of the city will effectively have no way of communicating with each other. They can't get to each other, the entire community is immobilized. And my personal favorite quote anyone has made about the line, Etienne Boabdou, says the project leaders have essentially hired video game designers to illustrate the concept. But critics be damned. This city is going to be built. How's it coming along? Saudi Arabia has stated that it aims to complete a 5-kilometer central segment by 2030, while completion of the full 170 kilometers project has been pushed to 2045. However, in 2024, The Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg both reported that the first phase will only be 2.4 kilometers. Saudi officials denied these reports and stated that the project was continuing as planned. Okay, so we're not in total agreement of how or when it'll be finished. As of 2023, short tunnels have been dug for the start of the 20-minute train system. I'm sure COVID and a struggling world economy probably haven't done them any favors. The last report on the line that I could find is a news article from 1 day ago about a new soccer stadium being added to the project. It's going to be as tall as the outer walls, and it looks like this. Somebody was having fun inside Gary's Mod when they designed this monstrosity. I'd say the probability of the line actually being completed is probably around 20%. It all depends on politics, like everything these days. Considering 30% of Saudi Arabia's GDP is reliant on oil exports, if the oil and gas industry is able to continue generating enough profits for the next few decades, then maybe it'll be completed. However, we've actually been making a lot of progress moving away from using unrenewable energy as of late, even if America isn't really a part of it. And we've reached the end of the video. I love this kind of stuff, talking about different proposals and ideas for building a city of the future. It's a monumental task, completely redesigning everything we know about modern cities. But like the Maldives, it's something that will soon be born out of necessity. If we want our future on this planet to be sustainable, we need more investment into projects like these. So, with that said, my name is Candles. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Good night.